Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Adlin Amira binti Ahmad Rizwan and I will be your moderator for today. As we all know, our webinar is titled Career Development as a Professional, Experts Reveal Pathway to Career. This event is being organized by students from Bachelor's Degree in Food Service Management from University Teknologi Mara Terengganu, Dungun Campus. We are extremely excited to meet all the audience that have been joining us today. Dear audience, to honor our country and university, let's sing our national anthem, Negaraku, followed by Wawasan UiTM.
Bersatu kita warga UiTM, kita bangsa perkasa, taat dan setiaku untuk negara, penuh semangat wajar. Kita jangan mudah terlupa pengorbanan perjuangan anak bangsa.
Before we begin, let's all take a moment to praise Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for all the rahmah He has given us as we are able to attend to this webinar through dua recitation. So, I would like to invite Muhammad Shafiq bin Minhu Azam to lead the dua recitation for today. Bismillah.
Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillah minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma fir lana dzunubana wa ikhwanina allazina sabaqulna bil iman ولا تجعلنا في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Indeed, we gather today to express our gratitude for your priceless gift. Make us your servants who are always grateful for the bountiful blessings you have bestowed upon us. Ya Fattahu Ya Alim. Surely you know that we are here to gain your vast knowledge to develop our potential as your servants who are you pleased with. Therefore, bless our webinar. Grant us knowledge you have. Shine our hearts with your light and guidance. May it be easy for us to accept, appreciate and practice it. Ya Zal Jalali wal Ikram. Grant upon us the health, the vitality, the peaceful mind, the strength of the spirits. Hopefully with it, we will be able to face challenges, be competitive, and be able to raise the dignity of ourselves, our families, organization, communities, and our country. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin Ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Muhammad Shafiq, for leading the dua recitation for today. Before we go any further, I want to keep everyone reminded regarding the functionality of YouTube Live. Your active participant is important throughout the whole session, and there are a few things that you can do to actively participate in our webinar, which include leaving your comments, any thoughts or opinion in the comment section. I will try my best to check out all the comments as well as respond to it as we go. Plus, at the end of the webinar, there will be a Q&A session where you can ask any question regarding the topic we discussed. Also, do fill in the form given when you click the link below at the pin box to receive your e-certificate at the end of the webinar. We will begin our webinar shortly. Please stay patient, remain seated, and adjust yourself according to your comfortability. Dear audiences, we invited 3 honorable panelists to join our webinar today. Representing the member of the event, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to Chef Bukhari Othman, Ms. Nur Hidayah Ashraf, and Mr. Fauzi Hassan for accepting our invitation and joining us today. Welcome to our webinar, Pathway to Career. Our first panelist is Chef Bukhari Othman. Chef Bukhari is a former assistant executive chef that has been dedicated himself into the food and beverage industry. He graduated with a diploma in chef training and more than 40 years of experience in this field. Chef Bukhari used to focus more on F&B that are related with business and development coaching. He is now retired and not attached to any company for now. Hello Chef, how are you today?
Alhamdulillah, thank you so much. I'm well. Life is good, and thank you for this invitation. Thank you to be part of your program. Thank you.
My pleasure, Chef. Thank you for your commitment for this webinar. Let's move on to our second panelist. We have Mr. Muhammad Fauzi bin Hassan. He is the head Strategic Human Capital Management in FGV Holding Berhad. On top of that, he once was appointed as Officer in Charge in Chief Human Resources Officer. Mr. Fauzi graduated with Bachelor of Science honor in Life Science from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Thus, he also attended the Executive Management Program in INSEAD in France. Hello Mr. Fauzi, how are you doing these days?
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Yeah, hopefully you're well too, yeah? And all the audience too.
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Great to know that you're doing fine, sir. Thank you for joining us today despite your busy schedule.
You're welcome.
Lastly, allow me to introduce our third and final panel, Ms. Nur Hidayah Ashraf. She is currently a F&B operation coordinator at Delta Hotels by Marriott City Centre, Doha, Qatar. She is also a UITM alumni and graduated with a diploma in hotel management in 2019. For your information, Miss Hidayah is currently in Qatar right now. And as what has been informed, right now Qatar time is currently around 3 a.m. Am I right?
No, it's 4:23 a.m.
Oh, it's 4:23 a.m. Sorry. But Miss
It's
Hidayah is
okay.
still willing to participate in this webinar to share with you the experience in career development. Thank you so much, Miss Hidayah. I also heard
Thank
that
you.
you are volunteering for the World Cup. Is that true?
Yes, basically not volunteering, but automatically a Qatar FIFA host, because we are the host country and we are
Yes.
having a football team staying in our hotel. So basically, yeah, automatically a host.
Sounds
It's,
amazing.
yeah,
Thank you, Miss
thank
Hidayah,
you.
for your time today.
Thank you so much for the invite.
You're welcome. Here we have introduced all three of our panelists for today's forum. Again, we would like to mention that we are honored to have all three respected panelists to join us today. The topic of today's webinar is career development as a professional expert reveal pathway to career. Therefore, we hope that our panels can share with us a lot of knowledge regarding this topic. And for all audience, you may ask any question and I will choose some of these questions for the Q&A session later on. Without further ado, let us start with today's program. Career development is the ongoing process of acquiring new abilities, discovering meaning in one's work, and progressing along with one's chosen career path. It typically relates to career management within an intra or inter-organizational context. This development often consists of coaching, mentoring, skill development, networking, and career guidance. Therefore, I'd like to ask the panelists few questions. I will start with Miss Hidayah. So, Miss Hidayah, can you share with us your experience once you finish your studies? Something like your experience in career development once you finish your studies.
Thank you, thank you. So first, once I finished my diploma, I got the opportunity to do an internship in Qatar. It's one of the Hilton properties. So I started my career as an intern in Qatar, and then after that, after finish the internship for 1 year, and then I proceed being a full time in the same property as a service expert, or we call it waitress. For moving on, I've been actively participating in the hotel, and then I grew as a hostess, and then here I am as a coordinator. Basically, this is my third hotel. So I've been working in 3 different hotels in Qatar. And yeah. Okay. Sorry, can't hear you.
Sorry, Miss, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can tell that you are so long in Qatar, as your accent is
Yeah.
now sounds more like them also. So,
Thank you.
what makes you successful in your career? Do you have any strategies?
Yes, I do. I would share with you 3 points if you can write it down.
Yes,
I
sure.
might I might not be very old, or I might have limited experience because I'm still learning, but as of now, 4 years in the hospitality industry, the 3 points that I would like to share for you, like a strategy. First, you have to be able to have the willingness to learn, first of all. So when you start your career, the first thing is if you are willing to learn, and then it will be easy. Second, you have to have passion in what you do. So after passion, it will be consistency, because when you do your work with passion, and then the consistency will go. So again, willingness to learn and passion in your work and consistency, and then you're good to go. This is what I do during my journey here in Qatar since 2019, if I can add. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, so your
Thank you.
strategy is able to be willingness to learn, be patient, and sorry, what's this? What was the last one?
The last one was consistency.
And consistency. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe any of the panels can share with us on how did you on what was your strategies in this industry.
Well, if you ask me,
Yes.
basically, I have to agree with Miss Hidayah there that you have to be willingness, atau you have to have the energy to do this. You have to have passion, and of course, definitely, when you have that, then you have to betray. You have to portray that consistency in your work, in your progress, or in your process. But at the same time, we also should take a look at you have to have the right attitude for all these things.
Mhm.
You have to have the right attitude. You have to have the right goals to set for yourself. Where you want to go for, what do you want to go for, where you want to go, and all these things. So basically, those are the few points that Miss Noor Hidayah has mentioned earlier, and I assume I'm also must be agreeable to Encik Fauzi as well, who will eventually add on things afterwards. I think that it is from me. Yeah.
Thank you, Chef Bukhari. So, Mr. Fauzi,
You're welcome.
what was the
Yeah,
biggest challenge you ever faced throughout your journey?
right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I couldn't agree much with Chef and uh, the Hidayah just now about that. Except that with the strategy, you have to add a few things. For me, is continuous learning, hard work, perseverance, and also you need to have a doa. While you're doing that, it's not enough if you not surrender yourself to the Almighty. Well, go back to your question on the greatest challenge. Throughout my tenure, about nearly 35 years in these industries, I've been working in many companies, some multinational, some GLCs, um, some owners companies, and I set up my own companies as well at one time. My greatest challenge actually is transformations. Yeah, there are many things in transformation, but there are many in my life stories that about these challenges. But I want to pick up only one, which I think can benefit the rest of the people here. When I was in Sam Dabi plantation in 2011, I joined them. Um, I was asked to transform the organization and the people and the culture. As you know, that Samdabi is a multinational company based in Malaysia. It's a merger of three big companies, mainly Samdabi, Golden Hope, and Guthrie at the time. Three biggest giant combined, they become super giant, become like monster. And we have about 100 and more than 110,000 employees at that time. So they have different background, different culture all the way. Like Guthrie has been existent for more than 100 years. The time Golden Hope, 70 years. Samdabi also around that, about 100 years. So challenge is how to transform into one culture and make the people more engaged. So I was introduced to my team. I have about 200 people in HR at the time. I was the head of HR for Sandabi Plantation at the time. And how they measure this, they measure based on the engagement of employees. I was informed that the total Samdabi plantation, we have only 50% of engagement. Only 50% at the time, 2011. And guess what? The worst of all departments in Samdabi is HR. It's only 42% engagement. The lowest in all the departments. We are the custodian of people and we are the lowest. How do you want to move the monster, into the big engagement with different culture? So it's very tough job, very tall order, but I took it because I love the challenge. So slowly we have to come up with the reality. First of all, you must accept the reality. Very important in whatever situation, you have to accept the situation. Once you have the acceptance, it's easier to move on. If you are in denial mode, it's very difficult to move on, and you will knock against the wall. You will never take any. You don't go around. You don't go up. You just go around. So, and we accepted the situation and we analyzed where went wrong. How can we move the people into the different level? The people that very demotivated, 42%, 42% for your information is kalau dalam dia punya scale tu, can I mix ya? In the scale tu is red category, is catastrophic they call it. So it's very bad for organization to have that catastrophic kind of engagement. So we outlined a lot of strategies, mainly on engagement. We did a lot of engagement as well to meet up with the people, understand what's went wrong, hear the people, and then start to work on one by one. Guess what? In year one, HR moved from 42 to 75. I was so surprised. I thought we can move only maybe 5 points. You know, Alhamdulillah, the people believe in what we do. Yeah, we moved to 75. Second year, we moved to 87. And then finally, we moved to 96. This is year four, which is the highest in all department, from the lowest to the highest. Yeah? And we managed to transform and move the total Samdabi group to from 50% to 60%. 110,000 employees is not easy to move because they're very heavy. So moving 10 points in 4 years in a big organization like that, it is a kind of achievement. Yeah. So that is very challenging job for me. Alhamdulillah, we have managed to do it with the same number of people. I didn't change any. I didn't take the new people in. Maybe one or two. Just that one is for replacement. But the rest all the same people that demotivated and depleted people. They were named after. So we can transform that people from so-called not so productive to be more engaged and more productive. And after that, we can see the results start to soar.
Okay, well, that was a long story, long, strong, and good sharing from you. I was
Right.
quite amazed from that. So I was informed that you have prepared some slides to show us.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you can
I
share
do
your
have.
slide. You can share now.
Sure. If you don't mind, I would like to share a little bit of.
Yes.
It's
Sure,
easier
Mister.
to speak with this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yes, boleh sir.
Can you see my slide?
Mm-hmm. Yes sir.
Okay. Right. Allow me to walk through with you certain points, and later on, Chef or Hidayah can also jump in and help me. Maybe they have a better experience or understanding in this. Okay, I welcome any of the comment. Um, a little bit of snapshot of the company that I'm working with right now. Some of you may not know about this company, FJB Holdings Berhad. It actually started since 1956 um, earlier than the Merdeka, right? At that time, under Felda, of course, with a capital of only 10 million at that point of time, and they gave us a total land of 112,000 with settlers. Sorry, the land bank is about 300 over at that time, uh, and hectare, and then about 112,000 settlers. We evolve. Okay, I will skip this, and you can see that in the uh, this dotted line, that's where the FGB names came about. In 2007, Felda incorporated Felda Global Ventures, that I think is quite famous, yeah, for many reasons. And 2012, we IPO the company. We also acquire MSM at the time, yeah, and then thereafter we grow until now. Now has been changed from Felda Global Ventures to FGB Holdings Berhad. Okay. Um, the next one is a little bit of that. That this is our values. Now, to me, it's very important in the corporate world. You have to mold the people in terms of culture. So you need a set of values. What are the values that your people need to embrace, to understand, and then start to manifest this in daily life? Okay. Pride, we call it partnership, respect, integrity, dynamism, enthusiasm. And this is part of the performance. In our performance management system, 40% of this is allocated to pride, and 60% is your quantifiable KPI. So it's very important, this pride. Now, this is a little about our the company. We have about revenue 2021 about nearly 20 billion. Yeah, profit 1.7 billion. Share price now, unfortunately, is only 140. When we IPO in 2012, it was 450. We're present in 9 countries, and we have about 102 companies under with subsidiaries. These are the companies that our presence is quite global. Yeah, we also have in Europe, Turkey, Middle East. We don't have in Qatar yet, but we are partnering with one of our Qatar partner now in the midst of MOU, and some of the in Asia. Workforce now is slightly above 45,000. Yeah, this is inclusive of workers. This is our businesses. We are organized in 5 businesses, or we call it sectors or pillars. Yeah, first one is plantation. This is what we are well known of. In plantation, we upstream and downstream. Plantation ni upstream ni more macam ladang lah, kita tanam pokok-pokok semua kan, right? And then we have mills, 68 mills now that process our fruits, the FFB they call it, fresh fruit bunch. And then we have downstream that refine the oil, and then we start to make it a product. Some of them consumer products. I think you know the brand if I mention to you. Yes, Saji. Have you heard about Saji brand?
A lot,
Kan?
sir. Yes.
Saji brand belongs to FGV. Adela also brand belongs to FGV. We have also integrated farming, sugar, MSM, MSM Pride is under us, and also we have logistic. That is in a nutshell the 5 sectors that we have within FGV. You can ask me, stop me if you want to ask me any questions. Now let's talk about the career development. That's about FGV a bit, yeah. Now this is the, I think, common path. Anywhere you go, you can see something like this. Either dual path, some company have even triple path, some one path only, yeah. When you start to work with any organization, I think it's somewhere around this. Kalau dia ada satu je lah belah management ladder, and the other one they call it technical ladder. Depend on what are the job that you are doing, your career. You can go up to the expert professional. Here is more to the executive management, right? Now, of course, when you start joining, you are at this category first. right? As an individual contributor, when you become senior and then move up the ladder, this is quite common anywhere you go. But in some, in FGV, it is just become like this. Yeah, this is what we have. We have non-executive as well, quite a number of them. They can also move on to executive level with certain conditions. Yeah, they have to go through certain process certification and so on. Now, for the graduates like you all, I understand many of you from food science, tourism, industry, hospitality. Yeah, but doesn't matter. For us, we take certain job. Actually, can be any degree or diploma holders. From here, they can move to senior executive, manager or senior manager. Then they grow to the general manager, senior general manager, and BP and above. And this is roughly the average performer of age. If you're average performer, you around this age normally. And the top performer, of course, we fast track them. Now, in determining the career path, there are three main key success factors. Number one, you need to be competent, or competency, we call it. The competency that you have, the knowledge, skill, communication, functional competency, and your leadership skills that produce performance. The second one. Okay, performance means here you deliver result. Your ability of problem solving, your creativity, and innovations is very important in this. And nevertheless, you also need to have this good attitude or behaviors. This one can be manifest or shown through discipline, adaptability, your mannerism, proactiveness. Okay. Well, now if you look here, I would put it this way. To achieve the success, these are the things you need to do. There are many things you need to do. But most important thing is this one. If you have good attitude, you are already 80% of that. Okay? Success is 80% of attitude and 20% of aptitude. If you put it in the mathematic equations, A equal to 1, B equal to 2, Z equal to 26, attitude make up 100%. Yeah? So the rest doesn't make to 100%. So this is to show that very important that you have to have a good attitude in order for you to move up the ladder. Okay. Now, how you choose your career? In order for you to choose your career path, this is something that Ms. Hidayah and Chef Bohari mentioned just now. It's something like this, but I put it more than that. Yeah, if you follow this, you can never go wrong. Inshallah. This is always my strategy. Okay, when I start to work anywhere, I start to look into this. Number one is understand what is your interest, your passion. Okay, it's no point you work in the area that you don't have the passion, because you feel very lethargic, very stressful. If you put into the passion or interest in your work, you love to do the job, you don't feel that stress at all. You enjoy it. Okay. Then you must outline your career goal. What do you want to be in that? Once you choose that, what do you want to be? Okay. One day, what do you want to be? What's your goal in your career? Do you want to be a CEO? You want to be a chef? You want to be name it, whatever. Can be a top researcher, whatever is your goal. You need to determine that. Once you determine the goal, you need to create a 5 and 10 years plan. Within 5 years, apa you nak achieve in 5 years? Okay, that to me is more mid-term, and 10 years is more the long-term plan. Put it down there. In 5 years, what do you want to be? In 10 years, what do you want to be? And work on that. This is your punya strategy. You need to have a future plan on that. Okay. Then you need also to discover your personality type. Very important. What kind of personality type you are? Are you introvert person or are you extrovert person? Are you emotional type of person or are you a rational type of person? Are you a desk bound person or you love to go out and meet up the people? So you ask yourself about this because this is important to match against the job that you want to do, right? If you match all those things, then you don't feel a stress at all. A stress a little bit is okay, it's good for you, but you don't feel so stressful, okay? Because you love the job, your passion, and mesh against what you want. Then you compare the job requirement to your education, experiences, and your current skill set. Apa education you ada dengan experience you dengan current skill set. Okay, mesh against that. Can you do the job? Kalau tak ada, look for that. That's where the continuous learning come in. Number 6 is identify so your core values. Apa you punya values? Now this one I can share with you a little bit about that. Now values are very important. For me, values very important. Okay, whenever I want to work, there are two things that I look into that, whether it match my values or not. Contohnya, I tell myself that I'm not going to work in the area where sin industries. Okay, benda yang tak syariah compliant contohnya. So that is my values. Personal So kalau ada offer somewhere yang I think that it doesn't align to that, I will have to say sorry about it. I will move to the area that which align with my values. Number 2, on the values that I always, for me, I always need to have a blessing. I'm very blessed that I still have a mother. I don't have any more father. Okay. Anywhere I go, I will ask my mother, what do you think if I want to move to this company and this job? Kalau dia kata okay, then I move. Kalau dia kata tak okay, no matter how good is the job, how lucrative for the job, I will not accept it. That is my personal value. So I think everyone have their values in that. Okay, don't compromise on your values. All right. I have a story in this that last time I was offered a very lucrative job in Dubai when I was in Carrefour at that time, French company. Very lucrative. So being young at the time, of course, I want to go and explore, like Miss Hidayah want to explore in Doha kan, masih muda ni, okay, you can go anywhere you like and do whatever you like. But it was not blessed by my mother. When I told my mother that I want to go to Dubai, this job, this company offered me a very lucrative package in USD. So that was, 20 years ago. My mother said, no, it's very far from me, very difficult for you to visit me, like now, so don't go. So I have to reject the job. That is the values, okay? Number 7 is the last one, only consider on the remuneration package, how much they pay you. Most of us put number 7, number 1. That is where the problem is. You put number 7 to number 1, package dulu, banyak mana company nak bagi dulu, then you compromise the rest, chances you won't last in that company very long. Okay? You are not able to enjoy what you are doing, you're not able to learn many things from there, and you are not able to contribute. Okay? This is the 7 ways on how you want to choose your career. But in FGV, we have many jobs. These are we have many in many industries. We have in estates here. You can have from cadet planters to CEO. You grow in that. In mill, mainly engineers. Okay, from assistant mill, you become mill manager, and then to CEO of that company. We have many CEOs here in FGV. Some of this company, one CEO. So, but 26 CEOs. Downstream, mainly managers as well in business development, transport. Okay, we have also in integrated farming, also we have in hospitality. We own a hotel in Malacca, okay, under Fella Travel. Okay, we also have a big R&D team, so you can be a researcher here. I understand some of you from food science, We need a lot of food science people to come in and help us to produce more product in food. Yeah. In the future, we wanted to position ourselves to be in the food industry, just like Nestle, yeah, but Malaysian type of Nestle. And then we also bulking. This is more in terms of storage and also the logistic when you sending the CPO, crude palm oil. We also IT, Pro Data. We also have the corporate services people like me that manage the rest of the people, in the businesses. We have also career and marketing and trading. So you choose all this. You pick which area you want to work, right? Um, L&D is about learning and development. This is how we develop the people, and therefore you can grow in your organization, in your job, in your career. Okay, from a job to become a career, right? So mainly we have a lot of functional training depending on where you are. In your R&D, different type of training. If you are in the business, different type of training. Businesses also different businesses. We also have soft skill, and then we also stress on the leadership training. Okay. We also did a lot of certifications, also education assistant. People who join us, uh, some required to take all these professional certifications because the requirement by the industry, and some because of their passions. We also want to uplift the standard of the people who are working with us. We also provide education assistance for people who want to pursue study. Let's say they join us with diploma, they want to go for degree. We have we assist them in bachelor's degree. Then they want to go for master, they can go for master or up to PhD. Okay, and of course there's some bonding. After that, they have to work with us. Yeah, because there's some investment we have to put in there, quite heavy investment. Right. In terms of leadership, we are targeting them into a different level. You can see here, this is executive management, manager level, middle management, and then GM level and VP and above. The intensity is different. You can see from here what are the leadership training that we stress on is very different based on the role they are doing. Okay. We also offer scholarship for people who are, after SPM or STPM. Okay, they want to, with this is the prerequisite, right? The focus area is here. But we hire quite a number of people in engineering, finance, in plantation agriculture, biotechnologies, food science as well. Yeah. Um, and some of the, I would say, generic degree. Yeah. These are the universities that we send them, some locals, okay, and overseas. The top-notch universities that we send them to UK mostly, in Imperial College, um, Cambridge, Birmingham University, the Bath, Southampton, LSE as well, and quite a number and others university as well. Uh, we also have program for people that just joined us. We call it young shapers. These are people who are young and they are top performers. They are top talent, young and top talent, age 35 and below, and we put them into a fast track. Okay, these people become a future leader to us. This is the cream of the cream for us, for the young people. Um, that, yeah. So that's all that I have on this. So I think the rest is I take question and answers. Yeah, if you have. Thank you.
Mr. Fauzi. So I'm with you about the mother's blessing. Mother's blessing is everything. Parents' blessing is everything actually. Whatever we want to start, whatever we need to start, we need our parents' blessing. So the company is quite big. The career was quite long. The job also was quite many. I'm wondering if there's any opportunity for us to be part of the company.
Sure, sure. I welcome everyone. Yeah, inshallah. If anyone of you graduates or even now you are the final year, I believe many of you are final year, you can start write a resume, send to us. Yeah, we review your resume and we start to call for interview. And also, we are happy if you can. Also, we can partner with you. Instead of they individually apply here, we can go to your place and set up a interview session with the people that wanted to join us. We can work on that, no issue at all. That I think will make benefit for both parties. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your share. So, sir, maybe you
Yeah,
can your slide.
I'm
You
share.
can turn off. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Will do. Hang on. Okay.
So, may I ask Chef Bukhari now? Chef Bukhari, as what have been
Yeah.
mentioned, you have. Hello, sir. Hello, Chef. As
Yeah,
what
hi,
has
hi, hi.
been mentioned, you have
Hmm.
40 years of experience in food and beverage industry. So,
Yeah.
how did you survive in this industry despite of the distress from work? How did you survive for the 40 years? That was quite long.
Um, Alhamdulillah. Thank you. It sounds so long, 40 years. Make me so old. I'm already 63 years old, going to be 63 years old. How do I survive? Well, you have to persevere. You have to face the challenge, like Chief Fauzi was telling it earlier. You have to have that 7 steps of in your process of what I call following the flow in your life. You have to have faith in God, in Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. You have to ask a lot from Him as well. Yeah, and it is never easy. It's never easy when you are, especially when you are new to something. In the beginning, when you are new to something, you have to work for it. You have to strive. And if I don't believe in much of in competition with another fella, another person, because the actual competition is in you. When you can define that competition in you, I think the road, the path for to achieve your goal is much easier. Of course, you can take a look on your left, on your right, in front, or you can even view your past to see what have you done. What you can always reflect on it again. But the competition is within you. You have to define that. You have to face it. So surviving is basically is to move forward. It's just basically to move forward. Never give up. Allah Ta'ala is never allow you to give up. So you have to move forward, regardless of whatever. Failure is already in your hand. Failure is in your hand, regardless. But if you don't try, it is truly in your hand, failure. So might as well you move forward. Strive for it, face your challenges, like Encik Fauzi was saying. You have to face those challenges because that what makes you what you are now, actually. So if you are, I mean, you guys are young. I mean, those people are young. You have a long way to go. You have a long way to go, and that that period of striving, like I was saying, will make what you are then. So it is only it's only the choice, and you can, of course, again I repeat, you can never give up. It is not. It's really it's not permissible to give up. I had a few ventures in my life that I want to give up, but with strong support from family, from my wife, from my children, they give you the courage, they give you the strength to continue. So surviving, like I was saying, is just to move forward, and that's how I see it now. That's how I see it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chef. So, along that 40 years in this industry, what did you most enjoy and least enjoy in your job? Maybe you can start with the least enjoy first.
You see, Confucius used to say, when you do things that you enjoy, you're passionate about, you don't have to work a day, right? You didn't even, because what I do is out of passion. What I do is what I am with pleasure. What I do is what I like. So when you do what you like, it's never like working. When like me, I like to create, I like to design, I like to create, I like to develop new things, especially when it comes to menu, when it comes to processes, when it comes to designing of a restaurant or a cafe or a manufacturing plant. Basically, it's what you like. And then with my years with Malaysia Airlines, catering, MCSB at that time. Not long, it was only 16 years. And I ended up doing, heading SUCOM, Sukan Commonwealth in 89, 98, sorry, at that time. That, again, opens up because Malaysia Airlines Catering was actually a second university for me. It teaches me a lot of things. It teaches me about attitude. It teaches me about discipline, like Cik Fauzi was mentioning just now. It teaches me how to to plan forward. It teaches me how to be better. It teaches me how to make my life what I want to be in my future. That's how I look at it. So being whatever pleasure there is, I have enjoyed, even if it's the least challenges. It will be out of passion. It will be out of something that I really treasure. So not to say that 40 years of my experience is basically now is basically to part with my knowledge. The Lord says, Allah Ta'ala always mention, or Rasulullah always mention, that if you have knowledge and you do not part with it, you are sinful about it. And you will be asked in the life after. So basically, you have to perform whatever that needs to be performed for the benefit of the younger generation. That's how I see it. Yeah. I hope that answers your question again. Thank you.
Chef, thank you very much, Chef, for your sharing. So, you mentioned about to have faith, surviving, move forward, and we need to face our challenge in order to survive in this industry.
Exactly, exactly. In any industries,
Mm-mm.
in any industry, I
Yeah,
think
you're
you are
right.
engineering,
Mm-hmm.
you are in any industries. Yeah,
Yes. So we need to have faith, surviving, move forward, and face our challenges. That is what
definitely.
our chef has been shared to us. So
Yeah.
moving on to our Q&A session, maybe we can Q&A. So let's move on to our Q&A session with our audience. Maybe we can share all of the panelists' video camera now. We have received few questions from our audiences. First question will be from Auni Aulia. Auni Alia, sorry. So any of you guys can answer to this question. How can you know that this is the right career for you? Any of you guys? Maybe we
This
can
is
start with
this is
Miss
I
Hidayah.
think I, yeah.
Okay, so how can you know if this is the right career for you? Was that the question?
Yeah.
The question
How can you
is, how
know?
can you know that this is the right career for you?
For me, when you do it, you feel happy about it. I think that's what I've been doing. Because how do I say? How do you do? It's a right. So
Miss, as what I
sorry,
know,
I'm just
you
gonna
are
repeat. Yeah.
you are now 24 years old. Am I right? So
Yes.
that is
Yes.
quite young, and I'm now
Mm-hmm.
23, and you are 24. Only
Yes.
one year age gap. So I'm quite amazed by what you have been go through, and you are now only
Okay.
24. So
Yeah.
I really want to know about how did you choose this career path? How did you that this is what you want? This is what you need in life?
Okay. 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 First, I am in F&B department. Actually, it helps me because when I was young, before I joined UITM, I've been already working part time in some restaurants, being a server. So from the beginning, my passion is already there. Like, you have to find your own self. For me, I'm talkative. I like customer service. I like to talk with people, and it makes me happy when I manage to give them my level best of service. So from the beginning, I've set myself, okay, FMB. This is it. I'm gonna go with FMB. So that's why, and then I go. I choose a hotel management, and also after that internship, also even in my internship, I choose to be in F&B department. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do have a doubt. Sometimes I think also if this is the right for me. How can I know if this is what I want? But I have the knowledge, I have the experience, so I have more confidence on pursuing it. That's why I I just continue doing it, and I feel happy, and I develop more knowledge. Like, this is it. I'm gonna do it, and I will search more. I will learn more. I ask questions. I do some trainings. I found a good mentor, like my senior supervisor, who has been training me well. So basically, surround yourself with the one who support you, who you can trust, who will really see you. Sometimes also I'm not confident. I don't think I can do it, but I seek advice. I seek advice from my boss, from my family. Can I do this? So the people who work with you, they will sometimes they even realize your capability. They even can see what you actually can do. So yeah, use your knowledge and you will be fine. So this is more or
Inshallah.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
Right.
amazed
Ah,
by your accent, Miss Hidayah. I really love it. It sounds so
no way.
natural.
Please stop.
Yeah. I would like to add, if I may.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chef. Sure, chef.
I would like to add, so if you guys were to pay attention, I mean the audience were to pay attention to what Encik Nasir was mentioning, the 7 steps, the seven process or choices that you should look at before you choose your career, or before you know that you are suitable or have the right career to pursue. Follow that 7 steps. Follow that 7 step. I think Encik Nasir would be very much able to, Encik Fauzi, sorry, would be very much able to identify clearly, clearly how to go forward with the right career. No, Cik Rolly?
Right. That is the
Yeah,
simplest way, through the
correct.
experience that I have. Ya. Dulu
Okay.
masa kita muda-muda tu, tak ada orang
I
ajar
don't
macam
speak
ni.
Malay. Sorry, I don't speak
So, yeah,
Malay.
then throughout the years that we've been through this, then I realized that, for benefit of the people who wanted to search for the right career, what are the best thing for them.
Okay.
Okay, if you follow that step, inshallah, you won't go wrong.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that is quite, airtight. I would like to give a little bit of to share with you some of my experience last time in choosing the career. You see, when my first job, I was not in HR. Okay, I was in production. I was in manufacturing. I worked with the American company at the time. I think many people know about the name Motorola. Last at that time, they were superstar in the handphone, the first innovation of handphones, mobile phone from Motorola. So I was with them. Yeah, I was in manufacturing at the time, doing in production. So I was a supervisor there. I at that time I didn't know what kind of job that suitable for me. Yeah. Um, so I just try and error, work there. And one day, um, when I saw what the HR is doing, I like what they are doing because I saw that they help a lot of people. Yeah. Many people doesn't see that HR is it's like that. They see HR is just like a handbrake. Nak buat tu tak boleh, nak buat ni tak boleh, banyak policy, all these things. They give a lot of stopper, right? So I see differently. I see that they help a lot of people. People who really need a job. People have some problem here and there. They go and help to resolve the problems. I wanted to learn that. So I told my boss I wanted to change job. My boss said, "Don't go to HR. It's Deadwood place." Huh? I was so surprised at that time. So, nevertheless, I didn't believe that. I explored. One day, they put advertisement. They want to hire HR guy internally. So I applied the job. First time they rejected me. I didn't give up. They don't get the right candidate after that. After a few months, they put again. I apply again until the HR manager told me, "You again?" I said, "Yes." "You sure you want a job?" "Yeah." I said, "Yes, I want a job. That's why I'm here." "Why you want a job?" At that point of time, I'm clueless why I want a job. I just tell him that I wanted to help the people. I like the way how it works. The HR, I saw that they help a lot of people. So I wanted to be part of them. I said, okay. He said, you don't perform, 6 months, I send you back to your production line. I said, okay, no issue. 3 months, I don't perform, I leave. Okay. So that's where they gave me opportunity. Then slowly I discover myself that this is what near to my heart. I enjoy it, Every time we do things behind the scene, we help the people here and there. I love it. So that developed the interest. Okay. From that, it become history. But
True.
of course, when you have zero knowledge about HR, you have to learn more, from other people. You have to work very hard in order for you to understand the basic of it. Likewise, people who already studied HR, they understand that very well. Okay, where I don't have any knowledge in that, I have to double my effort to understand HR. But Alhamdulillah, after that, it's the willingness to learn. When you have the passion, nothing stop you, right?
Agree.
You have to rely on that.
Great. Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah,
I mean,
You will know. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
you have
Great
to start from somewhere.
great sharing
Go
from
ahead.
all
Yeah,
the
sorry.
panels. It's okay, chef. So there is another question from Farah Karina. Is there any tips to be Is there any tips to be happy and positive at workplace? Sometimes I feel sluggish at work. Farah Karina. So is there any tips for her to be happy and positive at workplace? As we all know, nowadays workplace is words kind of toxic. There's toxic people, toxic environment. Yeah, these youngsters always say toxic people, toxic that, toxic this. So, is there any tips for us youngsters to be happy and positive at the workplace? Maybe
Okay.
Chef.
believe
Yeah.
Can I
Bagi
volunteer to
kita
answer
respect
this?
orang lama tu
Oh,
Dia
okay.
mesti
Mulut.
kita Chef.
Any one of you guys.
Okay.
I believe you youngsters, I mean teenagers now, have the right to be happy, Paul. You have the rights to be. You have all the rights to be happy. I mean, you were young before. I think. I mean, we were young before, but we have the right to be happy, and then we do whatever gives us pleasure in a sense that the halal way lah. Give us the identity for us. It works that way. So to be happy, one way, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Keep that in your heart, inshallah. Do what was told, do what is being told to do. Never deviate so far. If you deviate, I mean, we are human being. There's always a way, a chance to come back to the right track. So I would say to be happy, go back to Him. Go back to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Follow the two things that the Al-Quran as well as the Hadith from and the Sunnah Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, inshallah. I mean, there's no way, right? You can ask anybody. There's no way in life that you will not come across unhappiness, so-called unhappiness. Yeah, that so-called unhappiness. There's no way. But if you go back to Him in your heart, then inshallah, things will be taken care of. That's what I believe now. That's what I believe.
I
Thank
agree
you.
with Chef Bukhari, but can I add for my perspective?
Sure, Miss. We can
It's
see
okay.
that Miss
Alright.
dah selempang-selempang lengan dah tadi. Tak sabar nak jawab.
Yeah.
Sure,
First
Miss.
of all, I do agree totally with Chef Bukhari. Allah is number one. You talk to him, about everything. If you're not happy, you can always, talk to him. And also in my perspective, first of all, when you are not happy in your work, you have to identify what is the reason first. Why I'm not
Right.
happy? Do I the salary is low, or my manager is bad, or you say it right, the toxic environment. So you have to ask, why is it toxic? Is it people or is it you? Sometimes it's not only the people, sometimes maybe it's you. Have you ever think about that? Maybe, or maybe you don't like the job, you don't like what you do, and again, you have to love what you do. So if you manage to identify what is the reason, and then come out with a solution. Basically, I hope that helps, because if you really like your job, it means you can handle also the toxic people. Use your strength, use your knowledge to beat them. If you have a problem with your co-workers, then you don't take it personally. Or if somebody, like, maybe, what do you say, angry to you, or didn't know how to talk to you, didn't make you angry or something, you have to find a way on how to handle them, how to communicate with them. Sometimes people hurts you, but they don't realize it. So there is always a way. I hope that helps.
She's
Yeah.
talking through experience. Somebody hurt her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chef and Miss
Actually,
Hidayah.
yes.
Okay. So for Kairina, so the sharing is about find and talk to the Almighty and reflect ourselves. That is what has been mentioned from Chef Bukhari and Miss Hidayah. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, that will be the number one thing. After that follows with what other procedures that you need to do.
Yeah, you are right, Chef. So another question from Shahira. How to promote ourselves if the field we are applying is not related to our field? Any advice regarding this situation? Am I clear with the question?
I think this question has been in the list where it will go to final question for new graduates, or can we answer now? Or
Yeah, Miss, it's okay. You maybe we can skip the question. You're right. So another question for Miss Hidayah. Seems like everyone is quite excited about your job career. How did you adapt? How do you adapt to overseas work cultures?
yeah,
Mm.
basically that is actually my biggest challenge. It was my biggest challenge to adapt with the culture. I am working with more than 20 different nationalities, which is very tough. And also basically being in Middle East in Qatar, it's a Middle East country where Arab people everywhere, and to be honest, it's a good experience, but there is also good and bad. There is good and bad. So how do I adapt? First, I surround myself with good people, because you in hospitality, I'm talking about in hospitality, in a hotel industry, so how do you, for example, you will, I was having a culture shock when I arrived to Doha also. When I arrived to this country, like, people, sometimes people shouting to you, it's not nice, it's not nice feeling, but sometimes you have to understand this is how they live, this is how they grow up. So adapting with a new culture, first I'm adapting with their new culture with different nationalities, second, and then only I adapt with the work culture. So sometimes the language barrier, sometimes the language also very difficult. But first, yeah, I surround myself with good people, and also like Mr. Fauzi. Mr. Fauzi has mentioned like good attitude. It will help you a lot. And then just a moment. And second, do not take things personally, because sometimes it's only about work at the end of the day. And then uh, that's it. Am I, did I answer your question?
So your answer is do not take things personally.
Yes, this is very important.
Uh-huh.
Very, very much. Because sometimes, okay, you are friend with people. Yes,
Mm-mm.
you're friends with everyone. And then when it comes to work, when it comes to operations, there might be misunderstanding. There might be, I cannot do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't like the way how you talk to me. But at the end of the day, it's about work. So you just have to forgive. I mean, on that time
Mm-mm.
there will be a pressure, work pressure and everything. just
Mm-mm.
just stay professional, stay calm, and you will be fine. You will be fine. You cannot, you have to, if you have a problem in the, a personal problem, you have to leave it. You do not bring your personal problem to your work, and you have to control your emotions, and then you're fine to go. So that's what I mean, do not take things personally, even though in study, actually, I mean, it can be applied everywhere. Am I right? Or I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Chef and Mr. Fauzi.
So
You are there.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
right.
Agree with you.
So
That's a
your
part of
sharing,
surviving.
mm-mm. Your sharing was surrounding yourself with good people, stay professional, and don't
Yes.
take things personally. Adapt with the nationality
Yes.
and then with the work culture.
Yes. At the end
Oh.
of the day, it's about work. We work for money.
Mm-mm.
And yeah.
And we love money. Okay.
Yeah.
And so next is from Ashraf. Sir Fauzi. This is for Sir Fauzi. Sir Fauzi, what characteristics and aspects were prioritized during the interview?
Okay. It depends. Depend. I am assuming that the people here, the fresh graduates, because when you interview fresh graduate, it's different from you interview people who has experience, right? For fresh graduate, there's actually nothing much you can um, ask in terms of the past experience. There are little, maybe some little activities they have involved in universities and so on. Maybe their part-time job and so on. However, uh, mainly is a lot about personality. Okay, very important that people, when you attend interview, you have to impress the panel. Okay, the first impression very important. The moment you enter to the, not the room, when you enter the the um, premise, the building of the employer, the potential employer. Um, some organization they observe it. You know, you may not notice it. We probably have a CCTV and observe how you behave. You know, your behavior tells us a lot of things, right? So that's number one. Number two is your number one is personality. Yeah? Number two is your communication skill, right? How are you able to make them understand the message that you want to tell them? Is very important. I saw a lot of young graduates. They are smart. However, when come to interview, they are not able to communicate, right? The choice of the word is very important. Your ability to articulate certain words uh, is very important, so that the message is clear. What we want is the message is clear. Okay, that's the two main things that I saw from the young graduate. The other one is potential. Okay, we will ask along the way the potential of yours. What do you have? For example, if I ask about yourself, your values, your what do you like, you know, along the way there will be a probing question, deeper and deeper and deeper. That's where most of the graduates fails, because they are not speaking from the heart. Okay, they read somewhere, they remember it. When I ask them about this, they can tell you a first level. When you go to second level, third level, they fail. You can see the inconsistency. Yeah, I mean, they are not telling the truth. Okay, um, these are the three. I think the three areas that are important for fresh graduates. In order for you to attend interview, prepare yourself. Prepare all these things and speak from your heart. Okay,
Yeah.
when you speak from your heart, from your experience, then it's okay. You can see with people who are the panels normally has seasoned people. They work for many years. They can sense it. Sometimes before you open your mouth, you enter the room, we can feel the vibe. Okay, there's some people very strong aura. There's some people, yeah, have a negative vibe. Some people positive vibe. So have all those things. Make sure you have the positive vibe. The way how you dress important. For example, you are in the hospitality industries, or you are in the food handling businesses, right? In the food industries. When you enter, we also produce food. Our factory at the end of the day produce food, even though it's coming from uh, oil palm. Yeah. At the end of the day, it become oil. Kita pakai minyak kan nak masak. It's a food, and then from that we can produce many things inside. I think chef knows lah, very well. In bakery we use that. Biscuit we use that. Many things. The benefit of this. How you portray yourself. Kadang-kadang datang kuku panjang hitam. Then you want to work in the food industries. That tells you about your personality, right? Then the way how they dress, very sloppy. Pakai pakaian lama tak apa. No brand tak apa. As long is smart. Orang tengok pun sejuk mata memandang kan, sedap mata memandang. Jangan pakai, sloppy, then the way how you sit down. It tells you a lot of things. This is about your personality. Yeah? It's very important. That little thing like that important. Okay. Thank you.
You are so right. You are very correct.
Thank you, Supauzi, for the sharing. So for
Yeah.
Ashraf, the answer will be personality, communication skill, potential, and on how you dress. Am I right, Mr. Fauzi?
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah,
grooming, lah.
Grooming, yes.
grooming, right?
Grooming. Yeah. How is it?
So this will be the last question, and the last question is for Chef Bukhari from Faraliana. What inspired Chef Bukhari to be in such a long journey career? When do you realize being a chef is your passion?
Wow. I learned a lot of things from my mom, Arwah. She was passionate about cooking, um, and I used to follow her cooking class, I should say, when I was very young. And like Che Fauzi was telling, Restu, blessing that is from her, and that's how we start off. When immediately after my UTM at the time, yeah, chef training courses, I was called to Malaysia Airlines Catering to join them. I never went to hotels. I never went to restaurants or cafe. Maybe on training, yes, but when it comes to career choice, I choose airline. I choose the airline as my career to move on to airlines catering, which is basically not many people, not many, how should I say, chefs are into mess cooking. Because during that time, we produces about 40, average of 40,000 meals per day at that time during the time in Subang before they moved to KLIA, which I did not follow. KLIA itself can go up to 90 full capacity they produces now. But there are other airlines who produces like 240,000 meals per day, 340,000 meals per day. They are producing that kind of meals per day on basically for airlines. So specifically, I moved into airline to have that experience in mess cooking. So not many people has even in hotels now, maybe they'll produce up to 1,000, maybe 5,000 maybe. But when it comes to airline and during Subang airport, we have about 35 airlines at that time, 35 inclusive of Lufthansa, British Airways, Cathay Pacific, we have China Airline, Garuda, etc., coming in and out of Malaysia. So we are trained in a way that to be in time, to be precise, because delaying of flights at that time was very expensive because docking or parking the aircraft at the terminal is very expensive. So somebody has to pay for it. So it has to be either coming out from our pockets, which is catering or engineering or any other departments during that time. So it started off like that, and then as years goes by, after leaving Malaysia Airlines catering, I went on my own with few friends. We have restaurants, we have cafes, we have our own F&B outlets. One that I'm very proud of at that time was during my stay in Kuantan, which I created Super Kitchen. I created Super Kitchen, and it was we call it Shokudine. Came out from my friend's idea. Shokudine, shop, cook, and dine, whereby a guest will come in, they will shop for their food, go to the table, and they will cook themselves. So it's shop, cook, and dine on your own. The table was designed by me. We have drawers under the table that puts all the cutlery, the crockeries for your dining. So you don't have to ask for it. Everything is under your desk, your table, and it's always with the induction cooking the stove on the table itself. So it was something new. I always like to create something new. And then another product that I'm very proud of is when we do Figis. Figis is in Janda Baik. Janda Baik. Figis, I call it because Janda Baik is an area whereby figs are grown. It's a very popular place for figs. We have a lot of figs farmers there, and it's very conducive for figs to grow. They are fresh, and then from that fruit itself, wati wa zaitun, we created a restaurant of Figis, still existing. Still still have it in Janda Baik, Pahang. At that time when I started off, everything is with figs. Everything from sambal ikan bilis, teh tarik, anything that food and beverages is with figs. And of course, you know the value, the nutritional values of figs is very good, and it is mentioned in the Quran itself. So that's why I created that kind of thing. So again, going back to what Cik Fauzi was telling, Noh Hidayah was telling, passion about it. You know, if you to choose again, goes back to what Cik Fauzi was emphasizing, the 7 steps, the 7 processes that you have to go through, the commandment, the 7 commandment that you can follow will prove to be the proper, the best way, will be the most efficient system for you to follow to go to achieve your path, to achieve your goals in that thing. Yeah. So basically that's it. Inshallah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so to make it short, from following your mom footstep into making average of 4,000 meals per day, and that is where you find your passion. Am I right, chef?
Basically that is lah. Because it started off when I was young pun. It started off when I was very young. I mean, which is not long time ago.
Yes.
And I was only 63. So it was only what 45, 60 years ago, I should say. Kan? I mean, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
chef,
But
it's
as you
okay.
go
Age
along the
is
way,
just a number, chef. It's okay.
that's what Cik Fauzi was telling me yesterday. Age was just a number. But, you know, you might never know. Death is just around the corner for you. Everybody, kan? Regardless. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for all panels for your sharing on this first lot, and thank you too to all the audience that have shared your question for this lot. We will moving your question to the second slot, or even to the last slot, last Q&A session. Yes. So we are now done with our first slot, which is career development. Let's take a break to move on into our second slide.
What is our second?
It's future plan, I think.
No food stuff, huh?
We are now on our second slot called Your Future Plan. Before that, I would like to remind all participants to fill your attendance by filling up the Google form, which is the link that is already open for access in the YouTube chat box. Planning is crucial for our future. There is saying that says, failing to plan is planning to fail. So you can shape your life the way you want by planning your future. So here's my question for the panelists. I will start with Mr. Fauzi. Mr. Fauzi,
Yeah.
I can see that you are now successful in your career. So do you have any plan for your career development? What was your plan for the future? What is your plan for the future?
Thank you. Alhamdulillah, I did not regard myself as successful. Well, successful is very much, it depends on how you define it, right? Alhamdulillah, I'm just okay. I still have long journey to go to what my dream of, yeah. Sure, for my future career plans, I do have, everyone have their own career plans, right? Which I think is coming nearer. I work on that for quite some time. Yeah. In anything we do, remember this, you must have a strategy. You know, the word strategy may be bombastic. Actually, it's just that how you want to achieve something is a strategy. So even it's a small thing, but it's a smaller strategy. If a big thing, then you have to have a big strategy. It's very important to plan that in your life. Now, in your career, you have your career strategy on what you want to be one day. But you should have also in your life, what is your strategy? What do you want to achieve in your life, right? Now, ideally, what you want to achieve in your life is also uh, connected with the things they want to achieve in career. Then, uh, it's like throwing one stone, killing two birds. One killing two birds with one stone, right? So you do the things in workplace. At the same time, you also achieve it, the goals in your life, right? So that is my answer to that. I hope that answered the question. It's a bit generic, yeah. Unless you want to be more specific.
So after all you need is we need to have strategy and we need to know what we want to achieve. Is that correct, Mr. Fauzi?
Yeah, over to you, Lynn.
Okay. So what do you think about future career planning? Is it important for us to have future career planning? And why is that
Oh
important?
yes, oh yes, it's very important. I mentioned just now in my presentation, right? Uh, Even when I mentioned to you that play, planning is a substrate of strategy. First, you develop strategy, then you plan what you want to achieve. So, in your career, of course, you need to have that. I give you my example, easier. When I first started my job, I said, I'm very ambitious person. I want to be a manager in 5 years. In 5 years, you want to be a manager. You think you can do it? So I actually put pressure on myself, right? But that's what I want. I because I like challenge. Otherwise, I don't challenge myself. The choice is yours. You want to be easy, then be easy. But your career won't grow that fast. Okay. But if you're ambitious type of person, then put a higher goal. Because everybody have a dream. I have a dream. Okay. So I want to be a manager in 5 years. So that's my goal at the time. Okay. Then I develop the plans. Okay. What should I do in order for me to achieve in 5 years to be a manager. Is it possible? Okay, then I start to dig some of the data here and there, find out what is the average years people become manager. And in that company at that time, I found out it is not so realistic because most, it's a matured company, it's a big company, it's a bit difficult. There's some hierarchy that you need to climb up. You need to satisfy a lot of conditions. So, but I still stick to the goal. I said, if I achieve it, I break the record. If I don't achieve it, I'm okay. Not bad, right? I'm maybe with the rest of the pack. So, well, I got it in 6 years. I don't get it in 5 years. Alhamdulillah, I got it in 6 years. I missed by 1 year, but a lot of hard work. A lot of planning. Then I follow that religiously. Okay, you need to sacrifice a lot of things. That's what I did.
So I hope it's not too late for me to congratulate you for achieving your target, Mr. Fauzi. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very
And
much.
okay, so moving on to our second question. I would like to ask Chef Bukhari
Okay.
on what skills, abilities, and personal attributes that are essential to success in this field, in this food and beverage field, to be exact.
To answer that, I'm looking at perseverance, consistency. We are looking at what you call hard work, like Chief Fauzi was saying. We are looking at our utmost faith in Allah Ta'ala. Always have to seek his help, always has to seek his blessing. I mean, you cannot be lazy about this. You cannot be complacent. You can never be one step behind in achieving your goals. Being one step behind in maybe is to redirect, to re-engineer or re-correct your process, maybe, but you cannot put aside by being lazy, incompetent, you being arrogant about this. You can never achieve your thing. You can only have to face your duels. You have to face your challenges. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chef. So you are mentioned about consistency, hard work, and first and foremost, we need to find our utmost faith to the Almighty.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
I think,
Okay.
yeah.
So Miss Hidayah, it's Miss Hidayah turn. So what is your advice to students or participants to always plan their future?
Thank you for that question. So I think for me, my advice for students who want to plan for your future, first you have to like I will take the point from Mr. Fauzi regarding the 7 point of your career path. Okay, the last one was consider the remuneration package. This is very, very, very useful and important because when you want to plan your future, it's your future. It's something long term. So first, you have to identify: are you looking for a good salary? Are you prefer good boss, or do you prefer medical benefit, like more to medical benefit? Or you prefer a good work environment? So first you choose first what you really want. So by choosing this, and then you will see little bit clearer where exactly you want to go. Okay, and also choosing a good company, I would add, will be also one good start to plan for your future. So also decide what kind of company you want. If my advice, you go for a big company, stable company, or if I can add, for me, I prefer international company. Anyway, so by starting to choose a good company who has bigger business or who's stable enough to help you to grow your career. So
Mhm.
it will help you. It will help you to grow. It will.
And
Thank
you
you.
prefer international company. So why international
Yeah.
company?
Well, international company, because for me personally, it has a lot of benefits. For example, maybe in terms of the medical insurance, accommodation, transportation. Yeah, international, and also it will look good in your CV. For the youngsters out there, believe me, I would advise you to choose international company. It's just it make you pride, it make you proud to work there. When you proud being there, you will do your best. You will not even think to disappoint your company. You will I feel like suddenly it helps you to motivate yourself, when you're in a good place, you work with good people, and you automatically you want to be like them, so this is the place that you need to start. But also, of course, there is maybe some challenge, or maybe sometimes you have a doubt, or maybe sometimes it's difficult to get through there. But slowly find connections, build a good relationship with people. Be kind with people, because you never know who can help you. Okay, so, and there is always a lot of platform for you to be in this kind of place. Yeah, I hope that's answer your question.
So I believe most of the audience and even myself kind of want to know, if we want to be in the international company, what is the main thing that we need to have in order for us to be in the international company?
Are
Especially
you
if we are,
asking? Yeah.
especially if we are an introvert person. I'm asking for those
Introvert
who are
person.
introvert person. Yes,
Okay.
for sure we need
For
to.
introvert person.
Yeah, for sure we need to be good in communicating, good to
Yes.
be
Uh,
surrounding with people. So what will
okay.
be the very first thing we need to have in ourselves in order to be in the international company?
Okay. First, you will have to, for me, strengthen your skill, and also maybe go for more trainings, find new achievements. For example, there is a lot of online courses that will give you certificate, like what we are doing now, webinar. So first you strengthen your skills, so when you know where you want to work, then you find out what is the requirement. So when you know the requirement, you will go for it. I think also Mr. Fauzi mentioned that one in his slide. So for example, if you want to work in a hotel internationally, okay, so then you how do I say it? You find the requirement, but you have to be extrovert, I think. But for an introvert, of course, first, do you really want to work in that place, or you want to follow people? Because some of the introvert, they just want to go there because they are following their friends. So first of all, you have to. Sorry, I cannot hear you. It's mute.
Yeah, you're right, miss. You're right, miss. You can
Okay.
continue.
Yeah. For example, for the introvert, okay, because sometimes you don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but sometimes you don't know what to decide, so you just follow your friends, or maybe some of you, maybe your because you want to do this because your family wants you to do that, and these things. So first, yeah, decide first. Do you really want? Because this is your future. It's you who decide, right? So first you decide, and then you you study what is the requirement that you need. And then, yeah, again, you strengthen your skill. For example, if you want to work in the hotel, they require um an experience. So you start to search you start to talk, I mean, apply. Maybe let's start with the hotel, the small one, because in hotel you say, uh experience, of course, is everything. But also, if you have the skill, it will be fine. For example, me, I when I was a waitress, I want to apply for administration work. So when I want to apply for administration department, operations, the operation coordinator, basically administration. So I go to search what should I do to become a good coordinator. Yeah, simple example. So that's first, and second, if I can add for the fresh graduates, right? Like you don't have experience and you wanted to apply. If I can, now in 2022, we have social media, okay, and I would advise you to strengthen your LinkedIn profile, because tell me, does everyone has a LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, I
Or
believe everyone in here have their LinkedIn profile.
yeah,
Eh,
so
Even I
what I
also
would
have mine.
say,
Mhm. Okay.
yes, and I think this gonna help. This is because in that platform, it will it will lead to more exposure. I mean, you can see successful people over there, they're sharing their success. And also for you, you can also share any achievements you have. So by doing this, I'm telling you this because I've done it before. So by doing this, when you check on successful people, you want to be successful too. So when you share your little, maybe anything that lead to successful or career, sharing things regarding careers, it will lead to more exposure. I mean, you more people will see you, and also you will have a strong connection with a lot of, how to say, good company, good brands company, and from there you will see their profile, and you will be motivated to also want to be like them. But first, yeah, that's all it, I think. I hope
So
I answer your question.
yes, you are Miss Hidayah. So I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
agree with you on the mostly all these introvert people usually will follow what their friends do,
Mm-hmm.
what their family wants. So they will only do that not
Mm-hmm.
for their sake, but for the sake of their parents. That is what I usually see.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned about to strengthen your skill and update your LinkedIn profile.
And
And
find a good stable company. One
yes, and
more.
find good stable company. Choose good company is kinda like good start. Am I right? Good
Yes.
company, good start.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's move on to next question. What factor do you consider most often when planning the career for the future? Maybe Chef Bukhari can reply to this question.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah, sure. What factors do you consider most often when planning the career for the future?
Wow. Again, I have to repeat. Basically, what Chef Fauzi had explained earlier, the seven commandment.
Mm-mm.
I think if you to follow that, I believe you need to follow that. Those are the factors that you need to follow. The seven commandment, which will put you through the path. And you need to have a process. You need to have some rules, some do's and don'ts. Those seven factors, those seven commandments that are provided by Jafauzi, which is which is very clear what you should do. Those are the factors that you should be following. And I mean, just to add on to what Noor Hidayah was saying about being, I mean, even you, I mean, about being introvert. I believe if you are an introvert, you should not be in the hospitality business. If you are being that kind of, you being to yourself, you're being introvert, you can't even discuss with people, you can't even talk to people, communicate effectively, you should not even be in the business. You should be doing something else, answering maybe, doing computers, doing maybe programmers or whatever. No interaction with people. But if you're in the F&B businesses, you are basically hospitality. You're interacting with people a lot. That's how you should be. These are the few factors that you should be looking at. Again, I repeat, the 7 commandments that Encik Fauzi has put forward, first class. Follow step by step. Inshallah, you will not go wrong. Betul, I think it is correct, kan, Encik Fauzi? That is what
Thank you very much.
we practice. Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you very much for the sharing. So Sir Fauzi, what did you like about your previous job? What are the things that helped you to work effectively, and what were the positive of the role?
Okay, that's quite a bit of questions. Previous job, right?
Yes, about your,
What
what
do
did you like
what
about your previous job?
what do I like my
Mm-mm.
previous job? It's a tough question to answer. I love everything
Yeah, since
because I
you mentioned about you have been to this company and then to this company, so I
right.
kind of want to know about that.
Okay. In each company that I went to, they have a different moment or different memories that I have. Yeah. Um, but all of them give the flavor in your life. Um, I do have up and downs. Yeah. But I don't have anything to call as failure. So I love uh, where I am. You know, uh, I always I always look at present. Okay, when I work there, work at the present and plan for your future because we only have 3 days. Huh? You have yesterday, you have today, you have tomorrow, right? Yesterday passed. What were you yesterday? What are you today? Is because of the past that you have done, right? What will you in the future is what you are doing it today. You remember that, okay? So I love every part of that because um, I think I have chosen the right path in my life, the right career. I've changed. Yeah, I actually started while I was studying. If you look in my resume just now, I studied life science, nothing to do with HR, right? Actually, I was a scholar last time. During my time, they wanted me to be a doctor. I was put into medical school. In the first year, I supposed to serve armed forces at the time under military. So they give me the scholarship. They want me to be a doctor. Okay. But I don't like doctor. It's like, I don't like the environment. I don't like the smell. I don't like, to see people sick. I like to see people happy. That's me. You can see me always smile, right? So that's me, the question of that. So it is, you can see that there's some mismatch there already. But my parent is not well to do. I accept it because they want me to be this, want to be a doctor, of course. Um, but I realized fast my second year. I said no. I have to make a bold decision in my life because at the end of the day, it's about life. It's my life. I cannot live in people's dream. So I asked advice from my dean. Should I continue? I said, no, you don't like to be career in hospital, to be a doctor. Don't be. It's like what Shah mentioning just now. If you're introvert person, you should not be in the hospitality industries. It's mismatched against what required by the industries. The job requires so, right? So I decided not to pursue, to drop. And 1 year I don't have any scholarship. They terminated me, so I have to, you know, look around who can fund me for my studies at the time. So nobody fund me for 1 year. I have to work while I was studying. you know. And then eat little food. Hari-hari makan nasi dengan telur saja, 1 year. untuk survive. Okay, then before I get another funding on my loan for scholarships. But finally, I just want to finish my degree. At the point of time, I don't know what I want to be, so nobody advised me what to do. Only that I realized when I start working, I realized that actually what I'm looking for is not very far. So I started to realize that, and I venture into that, and I enjoy every moment of it. Right? In every company that I move, I have some legacy, um, which I remembered very well. There are quite numbers of accolades that I received. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Uh, of course, a lot of hard works. Okay. That much I can tell you at this point in time.
So, from doctor to head of strategic human capital management. So, I can see you are not only job hopping but also course hopping. That is what's quite interesting of your experience, Mister.
Yeah. Well, I put it this way. It's not job hopping. I'm sorry about that. Maybe it's a wrong
It's okay. It's
terminology.
okay. Sorry, sir.
It's
Sorry,
just
sir.
that to be frank with you, yeah,
Mm-mm.
I only
You love
apply
to
for a job.
try new things.
Exactly. I only applied for a job the first
Mm-mm.
time I wanted to after graduation.
Mm-mm.
Thereafter, I don't look for the job. Um, the job looked for me.
Mm-mm.
So Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So I think you can come to that point as well. Right?
Mm-mm.
If you hard at, and without you realizing it, somebody is looking after you. Somebody
Mm-mm.
is looking over you. You know, and when you have an opportunity, then look again at the seven steps that I mentioned you just now. When I look into that okay, maybe time for me to go and explore certain thing, right? So that's how it is.
So I would like to go back to the worst part where you only eat rice and egg for every day to survive. I mean, everyone in this studio, even everyone in the audience, have experienced that kind of moment. But after all, that is what make us stronger nowadays. Am I right?
Sure.
Okay. So,
Very true.
another question. Maybe for any of you guys, I would love all of you guys to share about what did you learn from your work experience. Can start with Mr. Fauzi. What did you learn from your work experience?
What do I learn from my work experience? Many things that I learned. Okay, but one thing that dear to my heart is don't stop learning. Right? You have to continue learning, no matter how young are you, how old are you. It doesn't matter because there's so much thing in this world. You know, you can learn many things. If you start learning, that's the day you die. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Every day is a learning process. So, Chef Bukhari, what did you learn from your work experience? On that 40 years of experience, I believe there must be so much thing they've experienced from people to
You are right.
environment. Yeah.
Yes, you are right. Same like Mr. Fauzi was telling. We learn a lot of things. We went through every corner, every street, every lane there is in this business. We go through. Once we go through, but like Jafati was saying, what close to our hearts, to my heart, is knowledge. You must acquire knowledge. To acquire knowledge, you have to go through the process. You cannot you cannot be without, you cannot be dumb. Another thing. You can be a fool, but you can never be dumb. You cannot be stupid. You have to move on. I mean, you are not clever in any in all things. You may not be a master of all the trades, but at least you know what this is all about, especially what life is all about. It's very hard. Yes, I have to agree. It's very hard to survive. Any business, anywhere in the world, anywhere. You could be at home and it's still hard. You could be because your environment determines your emotions, especially your environment determines how you would lead your day for your particular day. For instance, so knowledge to me, you have to have knowledge because that differentiate between you and the animals. That differentiate between haiwan and manusia. Between that, ilmu, knowledge you have to have. Yeah. Thank you.
So, Miss Hidayah, what did you learn from your
Yes.
work experience? You have shared so much.
In my
Maybe if there is any more left about your work's experience.
yes, there is.
Plenty.
um, for me, I learned from my work experience is to control my emotions, because it's very important for you to not mix your emotion with work. So I learned that from a lot of my co-workers, my colleagues, to control my emotions. And I learned to not give up in whatever I do. Like whenever I want to give up, you I I try to remember why did I start, So all this time I started and now I want to give up. No. So I learned that not to give up. And then also last, I learned that Allah plan is the best. At the end of the day, all of this has been planned by him. It's just how you gonna follow, how you gonna create it. So yeah, these three. Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
There was interesting sharing from the panel. So the sharing
Yeah.
was acquire your knowledge, go through the process. Environment will determine your emotion and control your emotion and not to give up. Whenever we feel like we
Yes.
want to give up, we need to remember why did we start, and that
Yes, and
that will motivate you. Am I right?
yeah. Yes.
Inshallah.
Okay. So next question I will pass to Chef Bukhari. What
Yeah.
reward and
I'm
recognition matter most to you during your working experience?
sorry. Come again.
What rewards or and recognition matter most to you during your working experience?
Wow. Okay, I think it's self satisfaction. When you do something well, you do something with passion, you do something perfectly good. It gives you satisfaction, self satisfaction. I think that is what and I seriously don't really bother what other people think about my achievement because it is my achievement. And I'm not being arrogant or being bold about this. It's just that that's what that that's what keeps you alive. That's what keeps you going. Because when you achieve something and it is of success, it is something different. Which is, being me, I like to create things. I like to do things. But like Hidayah Nur Hidayah would say, "Wama karu, wama karullah, wallahu khairun makirin." The best planner is still Allah Ta'ala. So move forward, move forward, and then it will please you. Once your heart is clean, inshallah, life Allah will take along with you, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef. So Mr. Fauzi, maybe you would like to add some more? The rewards and recognition most matter to you during your working experience or recent working?
Yeah, like Chef Wari as well. It's more to me. It's more on self satisfactions. Yeah, it's not monetary is secondary. Yeah, to me, um, it will come. If because when you get the blessing from Allah, uh, what you do it uh, with a good faith, dengan niat yang baik. Yeah, inshallah, everything will be good.
Yeah.
The reward will come, but nothing that can replace the feeling of self-satisfaction when you did a good thing. Yeah, when your colleague, your team, uh, your people, surrounding you, your families congratulate you, you know, that moment is priceless. It's priceless. It's not about the money that you receive, the bonus, whatever. Yes, you have received that. Alhamdulillah, is a bonus. Is something that most of the people looking for. But for me, is that part will come secondary. Yeah, I really want to do things based on the self satisfaction, right?
Very good point.
So after all, it's all about self-reflection,
Agree. Agree.
self-appreciation, and yeah. So Miss Hidayah,
Yes.
since you are the most youngest from all these three panels, all these three respected
Mhm.
panels, so what are your next career steps?
My next career steps. Just a moment. Okay. My next career step in terms of can you ex- uh, explain more
Oh,
about the question?
maybe now you are F&B
It's so
coordinator.
general. Yes. Uh-huh.
So maybe you would love to level up
Uh-huh.
your career. Uh,
Okay. All right.
you
All
you
right.
get me?
Uh, yeah, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. First, my next step. Okay, let's not talk about so far away. Like we need to plan like maybe in 5 years, or maybe for me, to be honest, as a young generation, I'm sure that maybe some of us still doesn't know what we want to do. Even in 5 years, you still cannot see yourself or something. But for me, I agree with that. I'm with you, all of you. I mean, if you still think that you don't know what you're gonna do in your life, even you cannot decide in 5 years what you're gonna do, okay, reduce it to 3 years. 3 years you cannot think, okay, reduce it to 1 year. Actually, to be honest, that's what I did too. So for example, let's say for me, I've been as a coordinator in one hotel. So for now, my next step, I might want to go to be a cluster where to handle more than one hotel, probably. Okay, and yeah, so to see my limit, to know exactly how far I can go. So I'm taking, so my baby step, small step, is to go for a cluster, to work in a more than one hotel, and then in the same position, same level. But when you talk about cluster and more than one property, the challenge is there. So for me, I love a challenge. And then, yes, and also to explore my capability and to gain more experience, and to see what else I can do. And then after that, probably going to apply for a assistant manager, hopefully soon. Hopefully.
Inshallah.
And basically in food and beverage. Okay, yeah, that's it for now. That's my short-term plan.
So
Hopefully
so
it's
you
a,
are planning to
yeah.
keep in this field, in this food F&B field, or you are
Yes,
planning
yeah.
to get into any other field in future, like what
To
Mr.
be
Fauzi
on
did?
Yes, yes. To be honest, yes, which is I don't feel that I can share it, but because I'm afraid that it's not gonna happen.
Mm-mm.
But okay, maybe, to be honest, Mr. Fauzi, actually, if I can share with you, my long term plan, I want to go to HR, human resources. Let's
Oh,
see.
welcome.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
You have a
Actually,
very
that's
good teacher there,
You're most welcome.
that's
your
that's long
mentor.
term. Because to be honest, in food and beverage, yes, you can go. There will be no limit. You can be reached until the director, F&B director or director of operations. Even from there, you can go as a general manager or things like that. But I do realize my limitation because I'm sure everyone can relate. Like all, we are Muslim, for especially for lady. So in hotel industry, I'm not gonna lie, not it's not gonna be applicable for everyone, especially someone like me. If you understand me, if you got my point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I get
So
you.
yeah, so so maybe there will be a limit. There will be a limit at one point. Like you don't think you can grow. I will give you a very simple example. Like for as a food service, I I used to not be accepted in a job because I'm wearing hijab,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So they'll be like, "Oh, we cannot promote you as a team leader. We cannot
Yes,
give
I
you
get that a lot.
supervisor position because you are wearing this thing." And one time, yeah, it's humiliating. It's bad. So from there, I know that okay, this is the I cannot do this. I can never grow. I can never grow if like this. So that's why you have also to always have a backup plan. Yeah, something like this. And actually, yeah, that's my long-term plan for now. Maybe I will stay more to see what the world can offer, but in the future I would love to try HR. Really, really, it's a very strong career path, I would say. And yeah, I'm so impressed for me for Mr. Fauzi, and also of course for Chef Bukhari. uh yeah.
Inshallah.
This is it. That's it
Seems
Inshallah,
for
like
me.
you will
seems like Mr. Fauzi is welcoming Miss
You're going
Tisdaya.
to the right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank
Just
you.
don't ask Encik Fauzi for any medical advice because he's not a doctor.
Okay.
Okay.
So the question from audience is keep on coming. So I will moving on to the audience questions from
Please.
Zikri Hill. I see some people getting burned out in their career in the long term. Like maybe it was their interest at first, but in the long run, they still get tired. How do we avoid this from happening? Maybe Chef Bukhari can share
Okay.
based on your experience. How do we
Uh,
avoid this
to
from
answer
happening?
that, Saudara Zikri, burning out or that will be the cycle. It will be a normal cycle for everybody. Your cycle will come. It will be sometimes you are up, sometimes you are down. But what counts is how long you're going to be up, how long you're going to be down. That's where you should analyze the whole process again. Um, how to get out of this is you should talk to people. You should talk to some experts. You should talk to some people who understands you and who will be able to advise you how to get out of your predicament at the moment. I think that would be a better solution, especially if you are having problem with working place. HR is the best person to discuss your matters. If it's not your bosses, it will be your HR who are more neutral about the matter. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Sure.
If you are currently feeling getting burned out in your career, you should go back to your HR. Am I right, Chef Bukhari?
Basically, you have to analyze what is the problem. Is it the work environment
Or
problem
from
or is it at
yourself?
home? So you have to analyze them from there. You should find somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody has their own mentor. Everybody has their own. They have somebody whom they look up to.
Mm-mm.
Maybe that kind of a thing that would help.
Mm-mm.
Like for me, I always go back to my friends. I
Mm-mm.
always go back to my friends. It can be my boss. It can
Mm-mm.
be because when we are outside
Anyone you
of
feel
our
comfortable.
environment, our working environment,
Mm-mm.
we are friends.
Mm-mm.
Maybe that is we have more of a mutual solution.
Mm.
Right.
Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
If
chef.
you
Yes,
allow me
mister.
to add a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, sure, mister.
Yeah. Sometimes we are facing too much things, right? And we are in stressful situation that we are not able to handle. Okay. There are a few things you can do. Number one, take a break. Take a break for a while. Okay. That's why that it's important to plan your break, plan your job. If you plan your job well, then you also plan your break because we are not Superman, right? Nobody is Superman here. At a certain point, we become lethargic, yeah, and we with certain thing coming in, some probably had the problems that make you very stressful. So you get burnt out. Before you get burnt out, take a break. Number two, ask for help. That's where Chef Buhari was mentioning just now. You can talk to anyone that you feel comfortable to talk to. In the working environment, normally big organization they have the support system. Yeah, come and talk to HR. Right, we are not the expert, but we have some people who train on uh, counseling.
Yeah.
We also can advise you to. If you have nobody to talk to, we can link you and advise you to talk to some professional in this area, like psychologists. You know, um, these people are trained to take such situations. Uh, if it's so crucial, uh, so don't keep it to yourself. That's the point. You need to
Ah,
talk to someone, pour it out. Okay, talk to your whoever you feel comfortable with. That's very important. Yeah? In organization, come talk to HR. We'll be able to help you. Okay, I come across quite a number of cases like this. People come to the point where they want to commit suicide, because of stressful situation. It's not because of work alone. Apparently, it happens that the person also has some personal problem, family problem, and coming to the workplace also have a lot of problem. So everywhere they go, it's all
yeah,
problems, right?
yeah,
There's nowhere else to go. Seems like, right? Actually, there is. It's just in minor matters. So when you talk to someone who help you to advise you something, that actually relieve a lot of things.
yeah,
Okay, and be able to
yeah,
help you. If you
yeah,
talk to your HR.
yeah.
Thank you.
Sometimes it doesn't mean that you need advice. Sometimes you just want people to listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sometimes you don't need advice. You know how to solve the problem, but you need somebody who can listen to you, who
Right.
understands you, that you are worried, that you have problem, like Mr. Fauzi was telling, the problem may come, the problem may not even come from your workplace, it may come from other environment situations. So sometimes you just need somebody to listen to you. Yeah, it's as simple as that. But again,
Betul?
talk. You have to communicate effectively. That's how I say it. Betul, Nur Hidayah.
Betul sangat-sangat. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. You need someone to listen. That's it.
That's
That's
right.
it.
Uh,
To make you feel better.
I'm
I
willing to
totally
listen to
agree.
you. Yeah. Aduh.
Okay.
So
Problem di Pak
communication
Arab
is
eh.
the key. Am I right?
It
Yes.
Yeah.
is. Is the key is the lock.
Yeah.
If you don't proper, it lock you. If you proper, you have the key to it.
So
Yeah.
whenever
So,
we feel like burning out, we need to take a break, ask for help
Mm-hmm.
to anyone, and talk to anyone, whoever you feel like to. It can be anyone,
yes.
when
Yes.
with your friend or your family, anyone. If
Anybody
you're
you're
Basically,
comfortable with,
yeah,
somebody you're
as long as you're
comfortable with.
comfortable with
Yeah.
that people,
that's
and
right.
don't keep it to yourself. That is the main thing.
Never,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
So,
It's not worth it.
mm-mm.
By the way,
Hmm? Yes,
Rasanya
Miss.
ada banyak soalan kan. Awak just pilih je ke? Tak pilih semua
Ya, betul, Miss. Ah,
Okay,
ada
okay.
Miss ada nak
And
share
is
apa-apa ke? You're welcome.
no,
You're
tak ada,
welcome to do
tak
so.
ada. Sometimes no,
Ah,
no nothing. But sometimes the question helps. But tapi kita orang tak boleh nampak question.
tak boleh nampak. Kita nampak
Ah,
apa yang adik kita nampak ni je.
okay, okay. Kenapa tiba-tiba aku cakap
Terus
Melayu ni?
terus yang buka YouTube boleh tengok comments.
Alright,
Okay.
alright, alright.
Okay,
Ni dah
so
masuk subuh kan
By
ni.
the way, anyone kalau rasa macam soalan tak kenapa aku cakap Melayu lagi? Okay.
it's okay, Miss. Tak apa, Miss.
Whoever macam kalau if you think I don't answer your question or we don't answer your question, you can feel free to reach me
Okay.
directly. I
Sure,
don't have
Miss.
any problem.
Okay, Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Same
there is
here.
also is there anything?
Same here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, Chef and Mr. Fauzi. So, another question from our audience. Name Ismalia Fabriana. Wow, cool name. So, one of the 3 keys to reach success is consistency. How do we manage to keep consistent with the new career that we do? Maybe Mr. Fauzi can answer to this.
Okay. How do we keep consistency? Another word is istiqamah lah kalau kata Arab dia kan.
Boleh lah.
Boleh lah. Well, to keep consistent, you need to have the energy, okay, to do things. It is very important. Number one, you need to have knowledge and skills. How to do it. Then you need to have the energy, how to perform that skill or the knowledge. Right? If you have these two, it's very important to do that. And the other part that we always stress out, I think Hidayah also mentioned earlier, Chef also mentioned earlier, that if you're passionate about it, you are in the area that you're passionate about it, it become very natural. You don't realize it. You don't feel that it's a burden to be consistent. Okay, whatever you do it 100% or more than 100%. Okay, now I like to bring this point. I understand that sometimes we are we are down, okay, with many things. You feel like giving up. It's actually it's all inside here, right? So the real enemy is if you are able to, talk to yourself and convince yourself that you can do it, then it become natural. You don't feel that it's a burden anymore. That's the real, You don't understand. You don't believe. You take this challenge. Let's say you want to reduce weight. Huh? That's very normal for people. Let's say you want to reduce weight 5 kg in 6 months, for example. Okay, that's your dream, right? That's your vision that you want to do that. You need to have. I believe if you don't change the way you are eating, the way your lifestyle, you will get that. Yeah, you need to have knowledge how to diet. It's not just diet. Orang kata buat macam ni, you ikut je. No, you must understand first, and then what is in you. The moment you have that knowledge, and then you need to be disciplined about it. Okay, you need to have energy to do that. Then it will make you consistently doing it, and you can see that progress day after day. Right? That is a simple example. If you want to how to be consistent, you need to have a strong discipline as well in that.
Yeah.
So
So,
Agree.
so in order to be consistent, we have to have knowledge. So whenever we feel like giving up, like what Miss Hidayah has mentioned, we need to remember why did we start. The real enemy is yourself. So if you tell yourself you can do it, then you can do it. If you tell yourself you can't do it, then you can't do it. So
so
good sharing. Thank you, Mr. Fauzi. Another question from Devina Aprilia. Can you give me motivation from a story about a problem that you think is very difficult in your career? Then how do you deal with it so that you can grow through it? Am I clear with the question? Maybe this can be answered by Miss Hidayah.
And sorry, but I'm gonna. I don't think. Yeah, at my level, I don't think I have faced that kind of
Oh,
very,
so maybe Chef
that much.
Bukhari
Maybe
can,
Chef can answer.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
that 40 years of experience can answer to
yes.
this.
Mm-hmm.
what was the question again?
So, can you give me motivation from a story about a problem that you think is very difficult in your career? What was
Wow.
the your motivation? Yes. How do you deal with it so that you can get through it?
I do have problem recently trusting people, trusting in a sense that they would put you up to something, and then in the end they would just deny your work or your effort. Understand? So there is no story to this. Basically, it's just straightforward thing. You have to be strong. You have to have the perseverance. You have to persevere this. You have to face the challenge. That's it. To me, lah, to me, my personal experience or whatsoever, how I see it. Like you were saying, 40 years, mentioning as if I'm that old, but I'm not. You have to persevere. You have to tahan lah. You kena tahan. You kena hadapi. You have to face the challenge. Motivating yourself in a sense. I seriously, maybe Cik Fauzi has more stories than I, but to me, I'm just a straightforward kind of guy. If I don't like, I would tell. If I like, I would keep quiet. If that benefits me, I would love it. If it does not, then I would say it out. That kind of thing. My wife has a lot of problem with me with that kind of attitude actually. So basically, at the point of motivation is, how should I put it? Seriously, I would not meet your requirement to give you motivation on this one. But looking at it, I feel that again, I will repeat, you must persevere, must face the challenge, must look to it. And then the solution is always there. If it's not from people, it's always from God. The answer is there. So being motivated requires energy, like Cik Fauzi was saying. It requires passion, like Noor Hidayah was saying. It requires a lot of commitment as well. So never fear of failure, because definitely it will happen. Then if you don't try to make it right, yeah. Thank you.
So yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, Miss.
Okay. Thank you, Chef. It's true, but I would like to help you on that, on the motivation
Please.
story. Now I just get the questions. So
Oh,
the she actually want us to share a story where we face the situation you
Yes,
don't know
yes,
how
you are
to
right,
do
Miss.
your job.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So for me, I'll give my little story. I love to say story, to tell a
Yeah,
story.
I can tell that.
good for you.
I think you will people understand more based on story. Am I right? Okay. No.
I think so.
Yeah, you're right, Miss.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mhm.
You're a good
yeah. So okay,
storyteller.
I just give small example. When I was a trainee, I was an intern. I was assigned to a coffee shop where I don't know anything. Okay, I do study barista in the UITM, yes, but when you do it, it's difficult. You don't know how to do it, and I've been assigned alone there. So I don't know how to do it. So it's simple. I just go to my supervisor, please can you give me a training or tell me how I should do this. You cannot be shy to tell you that to tell people to tell that you don't know. Okay, especially in the early of your career, when you are new to some place, you should never be shy to say, please teach me, please train me, I don't know how to do this. That's why, because let's say if you already work there, you come early, when you are new, you never say that you don't know, or you keep quiet. And imagine, if you have been there 6 months and you still don't know, that will be more malu lah kan. So from the
Embarrassing.
beginning, yes, so from the beginning you should not be shy. Maksudnya dari you muda-muda ni lah, you kena cakap tebalkan muka. I want to learn this. I want to learn this. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I did. So I don't know how to make a coffee. I even was assigned to make the latte art, which is I don't know. I So yeah, I did the training, and my supervisor, I was lucky because my supervisor was very supportive. So he was like, okay, let me spend a time with you, 30 minutes in a day. Every day you prepare three coffee. Let me see how you go. That's it. So yeah, the encouragement from your leaders will help you too. So yeah, I hope you got my point.
Yeah, so good sharing, Miss Hidayah.
Thank you
I
for
Yeah.
love your
sharing your
story very
story.
much.
Yeah.
So,
If
Mr.
I can add
Fauzi.
up a little bit,
Yes, sure,
yeah,
Miss. As well, Mister.
sure. I think the question was about how you keep motivate yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
When you're facing challenges, yeah. So I relate to my story just now about when I was in Sam Dhabi that the engagement of people is a very tall order. I have a choice whether I want to quit. I just joined the company. I can just quit. If I'm scared to deliver what my boss was telling me, it's a very tall order. You know, when I meet up the people that he told me was very demotivated people, yes, they are. They look very demotivated. You know, very annoying at times. So, but I decided to challenge myself. I said, the first thing you do is accept it. I mentioned it earlier, right? You have to accept the situations. The moment you accept that situation, you are no longer at the denial mode. You already moved towards the war zone. Okay, there's no turning back. Then you start to do your work, study the people. What are the people? What I did, I study how does, what type of people they are, what makes them demotivated. I talk to every each of them. About 200 people. Um, we are at the time in 17 countries. So I went around, talked to the people, then understand what makes them very unhappy, what demotivated them, and what do they want, what do they expect from me. Okay. Once you have all those informations, then what they need is a clear goal, right? So you need to communicate, then you plan your strategy and make it clear to everybody to understand, okay, that we are here today and we want to work together. Okay. I'm not a Superman. I cannot, drive this thing alone. I need all of you as team. You got to make them as a team, right? It's a team effort. So I realized that how to get the buy-in from them. They are from different nationalities, 17 countries. So, but one thing that can penetrate everybody because we are human, I realized that people can accept us easily if we practice humility. You know, humility, kerendahan hati. Yeah. So nobody likes people who is arrogant, right? We don't like people arrogant. We don't behave as one. Simple as that. So we have to exhibit that kind of behavior. So when they see that, they see the clear strategy, clear communication, then we practice what we said. I get the buy-in. The moment you get the buy-in, then the team work together. That's how that we start to progress. How I keep myself motivated is when I see them change. When I see the people start to change, I become very motivated. Okay,
Mm.
level of motivation has raised very high. Full of energy. Out of sudden, the willpower come. Then together we can do everything. That's how that I did. We transformed them from 42 to 96. Is a it's a bit of achievement. I hope that give you some little information that probably you can learn something from that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was a good story. So I hope Devina Aprilia get what our three awesome speakers tell you. And I hope all these three awesome speakers have answered to your question. Moving on to question from Louis Aris. What factors and special skills need to be considered when selecting and preparing for employment or career path for future success? Maybe Mr. Fauzi can answer to this. What factors and special skills need to be considered when selecting and preparing for employment or career path for future success?
Okay, basically, what are the factors for us to employ a person,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Mm.
And then how we then grow them to be uh, successful in their
Yes.
career,
In the future, yes.
right? The first thing, very important, is I mentioned in my slide just now. If you realize, I went a bit fast because the time factor. Um, Number one is attitude. Okay, that's very important. If you don't have the competency, still okay. I would rather hire a person who has good attitude versus somebody who's very good in the academic qualification, or good in performance, but bad attitude. Because the good attitude person, we can train the rest. We can train the competency. We can train the skill. Because they have the good attitude, they can progress very well. Okay, that is very important attributes in terms of employability, right? Um, the attitude also will tell us about your potential, right? In FGB, we did this the talent management where we have two axes, the 9 grid we call it, yeah, for the employees. One X is the performance. How do you perform against your goals, the KPIs? The other one is potentials. So we take that, the highest boxes there. Um, these are the top talent, considered top talent. Then how do we groom the top talent? Okay, the top talent actually very much based on their potentials, right? Of course, everybody has a gaps. From the gaps, then we identify the gaps, and then you can do development plans in order for you to fill up the gaps, close the gaps. But very important is still attitudes. The people who are in this top talent, if they have attitude problems, we will drop them. Okay, the management has unanimously, we have a committee, talent committee, yeah, talent council looking at this. This is comprises of the group chief executive officer and top talent, top high level jobs, that we agreed that people who has a problem with attitudes should not be the leader. Okay, so if you want to grow in your career, first you want to get a job, you have to have a good attitude. That tells you about your potential. Okay, then you want to grow in your career, you have also to have a good attitude. Remember, attitude make up of 80%. 80% attitude, 20% aptitude. Okay, aptitude you can build. It's easy. Attitude it comes from within. What you learn, and then how you behave. People see it. You cannot lie on that. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Fauzi, for the great sharing. So, it's all about attitude and aptitude from yourself. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
we are now into our final question for all panelists. So, I would love if all panelists will answer to this. The question is tips for new graduates applying for a job if they have no working experience, especially for us fresh graduate. How do we apply for a job that when we have no working experience? Maybe we can start with Miss Hidayah first.
Okay. I think I've answered this actually earlier, but I'm gonna repeat myself. So to apply, how to apply a job for a fresh graduates, right? For sorry, without experience, and you want to apply for a job.
Yes. Yes.
The tips first. If I were you, I will first identify what are the industry that I want to work on. Like, can I ask for all of you, are you working for hospitality, or you are planning to go to another industry?
Me?
Sorry.
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
I'm planning to work in this industry. I'm
Yeah,
planning to
industry.
work in Nestle company if that's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what
Oh.
I'm strive for. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
yes, I
mm-hmm,
love to be in this field. So I would love to explore more in this field.
mm-hmm.
So maybe
So
I
for
can.
me,
Yes.
okay. So the tips is basically I've shared it. Like, first you strengthen your skills first. So based on the company or position that you wanted to apply for, so then you have to cross check what are the skills that is required for that. For example, if you for example, okay, you want to work in the office. I'll give general example. If you want to go to work in the office, but you don't know how to use an Excel, so you cannot apply for it. So you learn how to use Excel. Okay, like that. So you find out what are the skill requirement for that position or for that company. Okay, that's the first. So when you know what are the requirements, and then it will help you to discover more, to do the to achieve that skills, right? And also, again, you be kind with people, you create connections, because you will never know who will help you in the future. So if you have strong connections, and again, the social media and LinkedIn profile is gonna help you a lot. And yeah, I believe that's my tips. And also, if I can share in terms of your, maybe when you go for interview, okay? Because I think Mr. Fauzi also mentioned regard in the interview session, like sometimes you are good enough for the job, but you don't know how to communicate. You get nervous, and the way you answer the question is not convincing the recruiter. So first impression is very, very important. Okay, doesn't matter if even if you don't feel confident, or if you feel nervous, you have to fake it until you make it. Because my experience in doing the interview, I still remember 2 years ago when I did the interview for the internship to Dubai. Okay, it was really tough interview, but I say it myself, just be myself, and they just want to see you communicate. Okay, so they want to know if you really know the job description and if you are fit to be in that. So, okay, for example, in interview, if they will, I know Mr. Fauzi is the most qualified person to tell this, but I want to share my experience because if you don't have experience, yeah, but you can always enlighten to the recruiters, yes, I have limited experience, but I would love to learn. And also, I have these skills that will help me to apply in this job, something like that. Okay, so I guess that's it for the from me. Thank you. Mm.
Sure.
We cannot hear
Chef, you
you.
want to start?
So sorry.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't turn
Hello.
on my mic just now. So what
Mhm.
Miss Hidayah has mentioned is to choose your company, check out the skill requirement, and be kind with
Mhm.
people. Create connection, as we don't know
Mhm.
who will help us in the future. So we need to be kind to everyone.
Mhm.
And as for the interview, first impression is important. I get it a lot. So first
Mhm.
impression is very important.
Mhm.
Maybe Mr. Next will be Mr. Fauzi. You can share with us about the tips for new graduates if they have no working
Right.
experience. Yes.
Sure. Now, there are two levels. One level is applying a job. The other
Mhm.
level is uh, attending interviews.
Yeah.
Okay. The first level is important. Okay. Because first level, before they want to either screen your resume, before they want to decide whether to call you for interview or not, okay, it's all on papers,
Mm.
right? So you need to have a strong resume.
Mhm.
Okay, do a preparations. Very important. The key point is you must do the preparations.
Mhm.
Okay, jangan cincai-cincai. Okay, uh, make sure that you write a good resume, a good written English. If it's in English, can be in Bahasa as well. If some company that accept that, right? But it has to be acceptable or acceptable language, and the proficiency of that is uh, at the good level. Okay. Now, once you prepare your resume, um, of course, when you want to send the resume, like Miss Hidayah saying that you need to understand which field, what job you are applying for. Okay. If, again, I come back to the 7 step that I mentioned just now. If you are doing now, for example, tourism or hospitality industries, uh, you want to make up your mind, you want to work in that area, then look for the companies and the job availability in that field. Okay? Don't waste your time to look others. Okay, you need to decide then. It's much easier to decide earlier. Don't be like me last time. Nobody tell me what to do, so I have to figure it out on myself. So once you do that, um, now the good resume is now plenty. You can find anywhere in the. You can Google it. You can ask from your friend, from your lecturer. Read books, whatever. Okay, but it's important. It's about selling yourself in there. Okay, but remember, only tell the truth. Don't lie. Okay, if you lie, let's say you get selected to the second round for the interview, that is very difficult for you uh, to defend that. So important on that. Then when you send resume, uh, you have completed your resume, then don't send one or two resumes. Then just wait. It's not enough. Okay, you need to have the law of probability. You need to apply that. Let's say that you love to work in the hospitality industries, and which company they are in that, right? Send to them whether they have availability or not. Doesn't matter. Whether there's any vacancies or not. Doesn't matter. Just send to them. They may not have it now. They may have it tomorrow. Okay, they could it. But if you know that they have vacancy now, even better. Don't miss that. That is your priority. Okay, but don't send 10 resume. That's it. Then you expect that they will call you. Normally, apply this rule. Okay, 10% will call you for interview. If you send 10% of 10 is how many?
90.
One, right?
Oh, no, sorry, one.
It's only one. One company may call you, okay, and that you don't get the job yet. You have to attend for interview. So send as many as possible, so that you have a choice. Apply the rule of 10%. If you send 100, you get 10, for example. Then your probability is bigger, right? So you have to have. There's a lot of hard work, right? To print or auto state 10 resumes and send. There's some investment. You have to post, or send through online, whatever. That itself tells you about your behavior. So once you selected for interview, the second part of it, okay, make sure you get prepared. Don't just attend interview and not prepared at all. Okay, as I mentioned just now, I also Miss Hidayah also mentioned about first impression, very important. Okay, so you need to impress them. Now it's about face-to-face interactions. The communication skill is very important. Your personality is very important. Okay, and then tell them about the skill that you have. You may not have experience, but what are skills you have? You probably definitely have some skills, right? The good skill that you want to sell to your future employer. What skill you have? For example, I have, very good skill in Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Excel, Words, etc., etc. Maybe my skill is 9/10, for example. You can tell them, and you can elaborate more. I'm very good. I have a very good skill in writing. Okay, I can write very well. Okay, I have skill in reading. I can read things very well, or speed reading. All those kind of skills, or whatever that your strength, you tell them. Okay, that is the potential, right? So the panels or the recruiter just want to see your potential, because you don't have experience yet, right? That's where they gauge your potential, based on your skill, based on your communication. If you did not communicate them well, we don't know, right? So again, of course, the grooming part is also important, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, don't come, to the interview sloppy, mesti kemas lah. Okay, and then you address them well, and then of course, don't be arrogant. Nobody like people who's arrogant. I have come across that people who are fresh graduate, doesn't have any experience, but very demanding. Okay, so it's also not good for the recruiter lah. They can see, in your behavior, it's already there. Before you join the organization, you've already shown your bad behavior. Avoid all those things. I guess that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fauzi, for the sharing. So you mentioned about to have strong resume, do preparation, and to only tell the truth. Do not lie, because it will give you problem in the
It will
future.
backfire you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you need to, as we have no any working experience, we need to write down our potential or skill in the resume. And we need to communication a lot. We need to our communication
Confidence,
skill.
man.
We need yeah, confident.
You
Yes.
need to be confident.
Yes, we
The
need to
But
confidence
be.
will come. The confidence will come through
Mm-hmm.
your preparations.
Yes, you
You
are
know,
right, Mister.
everybody takes pride. Semua orang
Mm-mm.
akan rasa takut, nervous.
Mm-mm.
Even even now, for me, you ask me to attend interview, I also feel nervous.
Mm-mm.
Everybody is normal, but
Yes.
mm,
you prepare for that, it's okay. Kita
Mm-mm.
tanya chef. Kalau orang panggil dia interview pun, dia mesti rasa nervous juga. Mesti ada punya. Cuma you
Allah.
can make it or not.
Betul.
Even after 40 years, it's normal. So you need to
Normal, normal.
prepare.
You never know what they're gonna ask you.
Yes.
You never
Yeah.
know what they're
Yeah.
gonna ask
Maybe
you.
chef, you
Sometimes they will
can.
ask you.
Chef can
Sorry?
continue with the question.
I will only add a bit to what Chief Fauzi and Nur Hidayah was saying. Bring positive attitudes. Bring the right attitude during your interviews, because that would be what you call, how should I say it, a plus point when you are not arrogant, when you have the right attitude towards how you communicate and all this thing. Exactly what Jay Fauzi has spoken, has expressed. I think that should be as well as what Nur Hidayah has mentioned earlier as well. So nothing much to add on. It's just how you portray yourself aja. Kan, how you bring yourself forward to show people that you are worth it. If you are not worth it, no point going. Just go home.
mhm.
Just go. If you cannot do it, you just go home. You don't even have to try, because you don't come with a heart. You don't come with positive attitudes. That's it. Forget it. If I were to be the interviewer, I would tell you to go off, to go home. I have interviewed a lot of people. I have interviewed chefs, big chefs. Sometimes they so panic when you ask them 1 kilo of flour and 1 kilo of ayam, which is heavier. 1 kilo of flour and 1 kilo of ayam, of chicken, which is heavier. They will come back with he will say ayam. Some people will say chicken, chef. He will tell me chicken, chef. The only thing that I cannot throw my shoes because they are expensive. If not, I could throw the shoe for them. I would. because you're so panicking. You're like you're not prepared for it. That's it. That's the thing. You have to be calm. You have bring the correct attitude to interviews. Some people will come back and say they would even knock on my door and open up the door. Yes, I think it's flour, not the chicken is heavier. The flour is heavier than the chicken. When it's 1 kilo and 1 kilo. Simple question is that. I mean, I would ask, and I would even ask spontaneous question. 2 plus 2. He would think. I mean, these people would think 4. To answer 4, they would need time to think. So this kind of thing that you are never prepared sometimes to do this. I mean, questions are questions which are logically it suits whatever you want to do, because you need 2 kilo and 2 kilo of that, 2 kilo of that, 4 kilo of the total to do. Because now recipes are no more recipes for mass cooking. They are more into formulation. So you cannot base on questions that are not logical to that particular job anymore. So like Cik Fauzi was saying, prepare. Whatever, if you want to apply for engineering, if you want to apply to as a high lift driver, if you want to apply as a pilot in any airline whatsoever, prepare. And they will ask you mileage, they will ask you tonnage, they will ask you about your knowledge on the aircraft. Definitely. I mean, as simple as that. So when you come for an interview, like Cik Fauzi said, I was going again, like Siti Nur Hidayah would say, be prepared. Come with positive attitudes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef. So, you mentioned about to always be prepared in whatever is coming to you.
That's me.
Yes. So, thank you so much to all panelists for the great sharing. I hope everyone in the studio, even audience, get something benefit from it. As the Q&A session has been completed, our webinar session has come to an end. Before that, let me wrap it up. In conclusion, career development is the process of selecting a job, getting better at it, and moving up in that job. It's a lifelong process of learning and making choices that bring you closer to your ideal job, skill set, and way of life. And I'm amazed with what Sir Fauzi has said. We must know ourselves and agree. And I agree because no one knows who we are beside ourselves. So this is important for us to know what track should we take and how can we develop our career in the future. Next, as what Chef Bukhari has said, Allah is important because it is never easy in for us to start something new. Even if we have the patience or work hard, but we also need to have faith and always pray to Allah. Moreover, I like his statement where Chef has said we need to perform and strive in our careers so that the younger generation can have more opportunities. Thank you, Chef, for the good words. And lastly,
Inshallah.
Miss Hidayah had also mentioned that we need to choose. This decision plays a major part in our pathway to career. We, ourselves, need to choose the type of job that suits us or even the place where we would like to work. This is because by choosing a good company, we can have a good start in our career. This webinar provides us with insight into the experts' experience and future plans throughout the journey. The respected panelists encouraged, discussed, and debated during this webinar. I hope this webinar will be beneficial and useful for everyone in attendance. Thank you to all the audience for joining our webinar today. Thank you to all of the respected panelists for joining us today. I'm sorry if I do any wrong or anything that buat any of you guys terasa ke. Saya minta maaf.
You did
Yeah.
great. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm also nervous.
Awesome.
Actually, I'm volunteering myself to be the moderator. I'm not appointed out to do so. So I hope I did great.
Well
And
done.
thank you
Good
so
job.
much. And thank you to all the audiences for joining our webinar today. We really appreciate your participation throughout our webinar. We will now show the closing video. Once again, we would like to remind you to fill in the Google form for your attendance. The link is ready to access in the YouTube chat box. As for the e-certificate, it will be distributed to all participants right after the webinar. Thank you so much for your time. Assalamualaikum and goodbye.
Salam. Bye.
No photo shoot?
Waiting for photo shoot.